Good morning. My name is Nick Beadle.
And I'm Tate Stetzel.
And this is our second installment of the Helena Chemical Mycogen Minute. John, we'll have a lot of customers walking fields here in the next few weeks. What are 3 things that we want every customer to document and take note of every time they walk into one of their cornfields?
Sure, Nick. And this is a great time of the year to evaluate your corn stands, why things are still fresh in your mind. So I'd say point number 1 would be to look at the spacing. To get those real high yield levels, we have to have our stand, whether it's 30,000 or 32 or 34, spaced correctly so those plants aren't competing against each other, but using all the resources we have available. So correct spacing. When I planted, did I have the right air pressure? Did I have the right setting, the right plates in? So all those things. So that's something to evaluate. Secondly would be the residue management and whether we got that residue moved out of the way as we demonstrated earlier. Some of the heavier residue, do we need to set the trash wheels down further? Do we maybe need to slow the planter down to manage that residue to get that good seed to soil contact? And then thirdly, the uniform emergence, as you demonstrated with the flag test. Those plants that are coming up a long time after the first ones, whether it's 2 to 3 days later, those can become non-factors that can actually become weeds or compete against what we have out there. It's good. So in summary, as we walk out there, great opportunity to look at number 1, the spacing, number 2, residue management, make sure we got good seed to soil contact and good depth, and then thirdly, just how uniform is my stand coming up and what can I do better in 2018 to improve those 3 factors.
So here's an example of some of the unevenness in the stands that we're seeing in western Iowa. We've got a plant here, 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 and here that hasn't emerged while some of these others have. We're just gonna, when we're out here evaluating these fields, we want to make sure and dig up some of the seeds in these problem areas and see what's going on in that situation. Here's a close-up example of 2 plants that we dug up that are showing signs of imbibitional chilling. They've leafed out underground. The mesocotyl is corkscrewing, and you can see that the leaves are starting to unfurl before they reach the soil surface. Could be a number of different things that cause this, but in this case, this field here was planted before our soil temps went back below 50 degrees, so most likely these are symptoms of imbibitional chilling.
So you can see kind of in this field here, we didn't get the furrow closed. Could have been caused by planting maybe a little too wet. We need to be mindful some of this stuff. We compact the sidewall here. It can restrict root growth, which can be detrimental more so when we get into the season and these plants really start to grow and develop a root system. So I guess one thing to be mindful of is make sure you're getting your furrows closed and you're not planting into too wet soils, which can cause your furrow to stale.
One of the biggest challenges to establishing a corn stand in conservation till or no-till is residue management. So as we look at a typical corn, soybean, no-till rotated field, we can see that we have a fairly heavy amount of residue from the previous year's crops. Recently we've had some higher yielding crops which have provided even more residue than what we've been used to dealing with in the past. So I know most modern planters have a lot of technology. We have trash wheels, we have colders, we have heavy duty down pressure, pneumatic down pressure, lots of things to help with this. As you can see in the spots with heavier residue, we're starting to see some of the plants emerge later than some of the ones where we had bare ground. We also probably could look at the fact that we probably have some variance in depth of planting because of the residue riding over the pockets. One of the key things that I think we can do along with the technology, the trash wheels and the down pressure, another key simple thing we can do to try to get better stand establishment is speed. If we keep our speeds down to maybe less than 5 miles per hour, that's going to leave that planter more uniformly in the ground and get you a more consistent seedling depth, but better yet, consistently be able to move that residue out of the way. As I evaluate stands and look at the possibility of what to do to improve things for the following year, I would say that a grower could possibly move their trash wheel position down a little bit more to move more of this residue out of the way. Also lower the speed just a little bit. I think a combination of those factors would give the grower a stand that's more uniform and something that has more yield potential.
We use a flag test to evaluate how evenly our corn emerges. Tate, can you explain how we've set this up?
Sure, Nick. So we're in 30-inch row spacings here, and I'll kind of step out of the way so you can see the whole stretch. But we've measured out 1/1000th of an acre representation, so 17 feet 5 inches is measured here, and each flag color represents a day which which day each plant came out of the ground. So yellow would be day 1. You got some pink ones in here for day 2, red day 3, and you can see some gaps. So we've got a couple more seedlings to push through, and the goal of this is to kind of evaluate each plant throughout the growing season, and just see what kind of effects day of emergence compared to plants within the row, what kind of effects that has on plant health, and ultimately what kind of yield we could be expecting. Thanks, John. In closing, just want to say thanks again for tuning in to the second installment of our Mycogen Minute. We encourage you guys to get out into your fields, take a look, see what's going on, give Nick or myself a call. We'd love to come out and walk fields with you, and do some note-taking and stuff like that. And just to kind of reiterate what John said, it's a great chance to get out, see things that worked for you, see things that you could improve on for the 2018 planting season. So with that, I'm Tate Stetzel.
Nick Beadle.
And thank you for watching.